Hello everyone. So how was your prelims 2023 paper? Even today morning, I was really excited. After we have done all these tests, after we have taken all these current affairs classes, and all these complex discussions we have undertook, I thought this should be a cakewalk. But by no standards, this paper is an easy paper. Whoever who says the otherwise is not doing justice to the process. After doing this much of effort, you find the paper highly factual and you find the paper a change in pattern in the way of questions being asked. And everything you have to manage within that 2 hours with all the pressure and everything's over your head. So it was quite a difficult paper. And still how we can manage it. It is not that we are going to sit back saying that this was a tough paper. There are different key takeaways from this also. Let's discuss that first before going into the questions. First thing is, gone is that time where you can apply these elimination techniques and answer 95 questions and expect to score more. This paper requires a little bit realism. Depending on your level of knowledge, you should ideally be answering slightly less number of questions than what you otherwise be doing. Secondly, even though the paper seems tough, there are a lot number of questions that are easy takeaways, or where you can still apply the logics. Around 30-40 questions we can see that they are either easy category or you can apply some logic and find the answers. So it is these questions that is going to be game changer. In other 60 questions or tough 40 questions, that is tough for everyone. It's very difficult to answer those questions. But these easy set of questions, 30-40 questions, that is where you shouldn't miss out. That is where the game change happens. So with that all perspectives in mind, let's discuss some of the questions. For around 43 questions we are discussing today. These questions are distributed over current affairs in science and technology. More than that, there are more number of questions where some or other references to the discussions we have done in class or the discussions we have done through the current affairs snippets or the workbooks or the test series that have been conducted. Let's get started. So answer, this is the set B question number series is being used here. So this is the third question. With reference to ancient South India, Korkai, Poompufar and Muchuri were known as what? So this question is quite difficult because history, there is aspect is this is a very factual question. In that aspect you can call this a very difficult question. On the other side, on history, you are familiar with these kind of questions and you are expecting a factual kind of question from this. Muziris, if you can relate it here, it becomes, you can connect it, you can get the answer even though it is not logically correct way to answer this. Otherwise, in Korkai, we have done this discussion in current affairs booklet, in current affairs workbook when we were discussing the Adichanallur excavations by Archaeological Survey of India. So they have done a new archaeological findings from this area. When we were discussing this, we have discussed this Korkai which is being used in the Sangam period. So the correct answer here is sports, answer is B. Let's move ahead. Consider the following dynasty: Hoysala, Gahadwala, Kakatiya and Yadava. How many of these dynasties established their kingdoms in early 8th century AD? So this is a tough question or an easy question. The difficulty of this question is sometimes this Gahadwala dynasty you might haven't heard of. And the options is only 1, only 2, only 3, none and others. So in this context, this question become very difficult. Otherwise, we can still relate some of the references from our workbooks. Like we have in detail discussed this Chanakeshava temple. When we were discussing this, we have discussed about the Hoysala kingdom and what is the time period around 10th century, 11th, 12th century AD. The time period was this of the Hoysala kingdom. Similarly, for Yadava kingdom also, we have discussed when we were discussing the Maholi group of temples. So this was quite a difficult question. Answer here is none. All these kingdoms are established after 10th century AD. So answer here is D. Let's go ahead. Answer this question. This is like ditto questions from our test series. We have asked a question on prelims and we have in detail discussed this question like prisons, state of prisons report which has been recently released. So as a part of this can be directly answered by any student. In India, prisons are managed by state governments with their own rules and regulations for their day-to-day administration of prisons. You can read from here that it is prison is a state subject. It is the first line that is given, and second line it is given that prisons are governed by Prisons Act 1984 and prison manuals of respective state government. So exactly if you just read this, you can easily answer this question. Statement 2 is in India prisons are governed by Prisons Act 1894, which expressly kept the subject of prisons under the control of provincial governments. It's actually prisons is which provincial government control is given under this Schedule 7 of the Constitution. It's wrong statement. So answer here is C. Statement 1 is correct and 2 is incorrect. Let's go ahead, answer the 12 questions. It's a very easy question from polity. We have discussed this also when we were discussing the judicial review and comparison of judicial processes in India as well as in US. We have discussed this in class. We have discussed how Maneka Gandhi case has incorporated the due process into our legal system. So here answer will be fair application of law. Answer is C. Let's move ahead. Answer this question. Consider the following statements. Once central government notifies an area as community reserve, this question, how is relevant is this question? We have discussed there has been some Supreme Court verdict regarding this community and conservation reserves, and we have discussed some protest has been going on in areas like Wayanad, in areas like Shola Forest in Western Ghats and all. So regarding this is quite important question. This is also something somewhere from we have discussed in the Saturday classes, Saturday 5 o'clock classes that has been going on. So in this question, 2 statements are correct. 2 statements are wrong and correct answer is only 2. Let's move ahead. Consider the 26th question regarding the mushroom. So this is quite an easy question from 2 perspectives. One is there is some in all the 4 questions. Secondly, we have seen a very similar PYQs when in PYQs discussion, especially from environment, same topic, where there is a question on tortoise and these terrapins and all. So this is a very similar questions on those slides, and in class also we have discussed about this Cordyceps militaris. That is a new fungus which is used in extraction of gold and all. So this mushroom has medicinal properties. This mushroom has anti-insecticidal properties and other beneficial properties. Even the second statement, some mushrooms has psychoactive properties. You might have heard of the magic mushrooms which will come under this category. Quite an easy question. All these statements are correct. D is the correct answer. Which of the following is a part of Congo Basin? So how you answer this question? This also we have discussed in the class. When we are discussing different lakes, we have discussed different geography of the Africa, and we have discussed the Congo Basin also. So exact answer is Nigeria is from Eastern Africa, while Sudan and Uganda is from Western Africa. And the Cameroon is the correct answer here, A. And moving to the 14th question. With reference to India's project on connectivity, consider the following. This is a question I think we have missed out this question totally in the current affairs discussions, but we can answer this with common logics. Let's see. East-West corridor under Golden Quadrilateral project connects the Brugger and Surat. See, East-West Golden Quadrilateral, which cities it is being connecting? It is connecting 4 major metro cities like Kolkata to Delhi to Mumbai and Chennai. So if these 4 cities are being connected, there is no connection between the Brugger and Surat under the Golden Quadrilateral project. First statement is incorrect. Trilateral highway, where it is trilateral IMT highway, India, Myanmar and Thailand. It connects Mora in Manipur, to Chiang Mai in Thailand. This requires specific knowledge of this XYZ data. It is not connecting to Chiang Mai in Thailand. Chiang Mai is at the lowest most part of the Thailand, and it is not being extended to this area, so it is wrong. In BCIM, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar Economic Corridor. So this was in news, and this is only proposed corridor, and question has came from this. Here also you can see that it is city being discussed is it connects Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh to Kunming in China. See, this BCIM is integrated with eastern part of India. That is, Kolkata is the Indian city that is being under consideration under proposal under the BCIM, not Varanasi. So this is also correct. All these statements given are incorrect. Answer is D, none. Let's move ahead. Answer the 42nd question. In the post-pandemic period, this is how many times we have discussed in this class, in economic survey class. We have throughout these classes we have discussed how the US Federal Bank is increasing the rate, how it is impacting India, and how it is impacting outflows of FDIs from India, how it is impacting share market of India, how it is impacting even the monetary policies of India. So this we have discussed too much times in detail in the economic survey class, and very easy question also. So your answer will be A. Both the statement is correct, and this is the correct explanation of the first statement. Go ahead. Which of the following activities Reserve Bank of India sterilization? It's a very easy question. Even if you don't know exactly related, you can see that oversight of settlement and payment system. Payment system is not related to sterilization. Sterilization is related to money supply. Debt and cash management of central and state governments. No, it is related to money supply. It is not related to money supply. Regulating of functions of non-bank NBFC financial institution. Nowhere it is coming in sterilization. You can see the screenshot of the YouTube video we have already in the YouTube. We have discussed in detail open market operations and we have discussed sterilization session as a part of this. So here correct answer is A. Let's move ahead, answer the 45th question. Consider the following statement. How many of the above are included in the capital markets? Capital markets means mostly you can think in these lines. Everything of these we have been clearly discussed in our economic class. We can think on these lines. Government bond market means government bonds have maturity more than 1 year. So more than 1 year it can included in the capital market. So one is the call money market means all those bonds which are having period or maturity of less than 1 year. Less than 1 year it cannot be included in the capital market. Similarly, treasury bill market means all those government bond securities which have a maturity period less than 14 days. So it is also not included in the capital market. Stock market is exactly a part of capital market. So two options are correct, government bond market and stock market. B is the correct answer here. Let's move ahead, answer the 53rd question. So this was quite a very factual question. This also we totally missed out in our test series. So here answer is all these are the northern Kivu. This is not related to Armenia. This is related to Congo Basin. Nagamo, it is related to Armenia. It is used in another option. Kherson and Zaporizhzhia, this is related to Ukraine. If you studied the Ukraine crisis, Ukraine map in detail, you could have answered at least third option, you could have eliminated this. So here correct answer is D, none of the above. Now answer 54th question. Israel has established diplomatic relations with some Arab states. See, this is a very correct statement. Recently we have studied about the Arab Accords, we have studied about I2U2. So what is the philosophy is? Philosophy is Israel is coming close with the Arab countries. And who is mediating this deal? It is being mediated by US. So this statement is absolutely correct. The Arab Peace Initiative mediated by Saudi Arabia was signed by Israel and Arab League. So answering this is a quite tough statement because Arab League Peace Initiative, this was an initiative of 2000s. If you exactly know it, you can answer it very confidently. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit challenging. So our Arab Peace Initiative, but you can think on these lines. Arab Peace Initiative has been mediated by Saudi Arabia. It's very much correct. But it was signed by Israel and Arab League. It is only recently under the Arab Accord, Israel has signed some diplomatic ties with Arab nations. So this could not have been signed before Arab Accords. Israel could not have been signed. So this part of the answer is incorrect. So statement 2 is incorrect. You have only one option, D, that is C, that is statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. Let's move ahead, answer the 55th question. This also doesn't cover the sports related news in our test series. We covered something else, but this has been totally out of it. But still you can answer this question confidently. Consider the following players with regard to sports awards. Major Dhyan Chand Award. If you can remember, it was Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award earlier. The name has been changed to Major Dhyan Chand Award. This is the highest sportsman award given to sportsmen in India. Now consider the first and second statements. Major Dhyan Chand Award and Arjuna Award. For the most spectacular and outstanding performance by a sports person over a period of last 4 years. See, this is for last 4 years and for lifetime achievement. Highest award should be given for lifetime achievement. Arjuna Award is lesser than Major Dhyan Chand Award. It should be given for last 4 years or so. So this has been interchanged. Both these statements are incorrect. Dronacharya is of course a historical guru or historical teacher to honor eminent coaches who successfully trains. This is absolutely correct statement. Rashtriya Khel, it is to recognize Pradorshan Puraskar contribution made by sports person even after their retirement. It is given to sports persons, it is given to different organizations also, and it is not exactly related to after retirements or before retirement. So this statement is also incorrect. So we have only one correct statement here, Dronacharya Award to honor eminent coaches who successfully trained sports persons of the teams. Only one is the correct answer. A is the correct. Let's move ahead, answer the 56th question. Similarly, there was a question also on chess Olympia 2022. So if a takeaway is for next test series, this is the second time UPSC is asking continuously on sports. In 2018 August, there has been a question on cricket Test Cricket World Cup, and there has been a question on this car racing, F1 race. And so this is again a year where you can see some of the questions coming from again from sports arena. So consider the following statement with respect to 44th Chess Olympia. It was the first time Chess Olympiads were held in India, very much correct. The official mascot was Thampi, and these two are incorrect statements. So here only two statements are correct. B is the correct answer. Let's move ahead. So this is again a mapping question. Here also there is a mapping relation with respect to Ukraine. So if you study even the Ukraine map and related map very clearly, you can at least answer a few three questions, three statements you can eliminate from the question paper. So the first areas of conflict, country where it is related. Donbass is related to Ukraine, it is not related to Syria. Kanchin is not Ethiopia, Tigray is also not Yemen. All these statements are incorrect. Tigray is related to Ethiopia. So all these statements are incorrect. Answer here is D. Let's move ahead, answer the 58th question. In recent years, Chad, Guinea, Mali and Sudan has caught international attention for which of the following reasons common to all of them. So at least if you, this is not a very recent current affairs. This current affairs happened in 2001, 2021-22 period. So all these countries over different last 2-3 years after the pandemic phase, if you look, all these countries have gone to some of the other type of coups, successful coups. So that D is the most appropriate answer here. So move ahead. Let's answer the 16th question. Here also I have discussed multiple times in the class. We have also shown in the class for at least identify some of these major organizations from which questions can come. And for this organization, don't depend on any coaching industry material which even I provide. Go to the about page, go to the original website of these organizations and learn from there. I have many times recommended, I have shown screenshots of this about page. And if somebody has done this fairly decently, could have answered this question very easily. Here G20 was originally established as platform from finance ministers and central bank governors to discuss the economic and international financial issues. Very much correct statement. Digital public infrastructure is one of the G20's priorities. Both are very much correct statements. Answer here is C. 62. Here it's again a history question, very factual and quite a bit of a tough question. Even in the Sita caves, we have discussed in detail in the class, but the other two are little bit tough options. Here the answer is only two of the statements is correct. Best Nagar is in Madhya Pradesh. It is not a Shraivite cave shrine. First option is incorrect. Bada is a Buddhist cave shrine in Maharashtra. Around 22 caves are there. Sita is a Jain cave shrine. This we have covered in class as well as in our snippet booklets. So that is 62nd question. Let's move ahead. So in this question, this is another economic questions we have discussed in the class. We have discussed what India is importing from different countries. And Switzerland is one of the countries where India has high number of high value imports coming from Switzerland, and gold is one of them. Read the first statement. Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold items to India. Very much correct statement. Second statement, Switzerland has fifth largest gold reserves in the world. So this is an incorrect statement. Even if there is some error in this statement, even in the fifth statement, it is a very factual specific point. So even though Switzerland come in the top 10 list, it is not the fifth highest gold reserves in the world. And even it's a very small country, you can think on that regard also. So here answer will be statement 2 is incorrect, statement 1 is correct. That is C will be the correct answer. Let's move ahead. Consider this 67th question. Statement 1 is recently United States of America and the European Union have launched Trade and Technology Council. US and EU, this is very much correct statement. US and EU during the time of Trump, even though this is also not a very recent development. This was signed during the time of US and EU claim that though they are trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity. Very much correct statement. Both these statements are correct, but exactly not substantiating the other statement. So B will be the correct answer here. Let's answer the 68th question. Another economic question we have so much discussed in the class. India accounts for 3.2% of global goods export. India have higher percent in global services exports. It's about 3%. But Indian global goods export is India is still less than 2%. So this is wrong statement. Many local companies and some foreign companies operating in India have taken advantage of production linked incentive scheme. We have discussed in detail in Saturday classes. We have discussed provided this material in the snippet as well as workbook materials. So PLI scheme we have discussed in detail, which all are the sectors, including what are all the features, what is the philosophy of PLI scheme, all this we have been discussing. So both in local and foreign companies have been taking advantage of this XYZ scheme. So second statement is correct and first statement is incorrect. So option D is the correct answer here. Let's move ahead, see the 69th question. The Stability and Growth Pact of European Union is a treaty. So this is a purely economic treaty. It limits the level of budgetary deficit of countries of European Union. Very much correct statement. This was in news when there is some countries which go out of fiscal limits from this European Union. When this Greece crisis was happening, this was in news. And Portugal has some stress within its fiscal management, there was in news. So it makes countries of European Union to share their infrastructure facilities. There is no such arrangement. Both the statements are incorrect. Technology or infrastructure is not part of this deal. Only it is about the budgetary management, fiscal management and all. So only one is the correct answer. A is the correct answer here. Answer the 17th question. Recently all countries of United Nations have adopted. So this question you can apply your logic, apply the concepts which you have been studying all throughout the year and answer this. Here you can see that there is all countries adopted, all countries of UN adopted it. It's very difficult, all the 193 or 195 countries come together and adopted a treaty. If you look at the exact data, around 164 countries have only adopted this. So there are some countries, including big countries of major countries like United States, having adopted this. First statement is incorrect. The objectives and commitments cannot be a binding treaty. It cannot be, it's related to refugees, it's related to migration, and related to migration you can know the stance of India. And if India's stance is this, India is not going to accept something that is binding, proposed by UN and all. GCM addresses internal migration or internally displaced. This treaty is mainly dealing with cross-country migration. It is not exactly dealing with this internal migration. So all these statements are incorrect. D is the correct answer here. Let's move ahead. Answer the 71st question. Here also you can see which of these countries share borders. Very direct question from Ukraine map. We have discussed in class. We have provided so many other references in our materials, current affairs workbooks, current affairs snippets and all also. If you have gone through it decently, you could have answered this very easily. Only two countries share out of this list. Only two countries share boundaries with Ukraine, that is Hungary and Romania. No other countries share exactly land borders with Ukraine. Let's move ahead, move to 76th question. So with reference to coal-based thermal power plants in India, this is a quite difficult question. This was in news, like some institute in India, some colleges have developed some kind of technology or proposed some kind of technology where coal-based power plant can be placed near the oceans. So salt water can be used for this power production process instead of fresh water that is being currently today used. So none of them uses salt water is absolutely correct statement. None of them is set up in water stressed areas. See, water stressed areas, if you look at in India, a huge part of the country is water stressed. And coal supplies around 70% of the total thermal or total electricity demand of the country. So in this scenario, we cannot have an exception like this. Like none of our coal plants are placed in water stressed areas. Some of the coal plants are indeed placed in the water stressed areas. None of them is privately owned. This is also very extreme statement and cannot be true. So these two are wrong. First one is correct. Only one A is the correct answer here. You can make none of them. These two are A is the correct answer. So make the changes accordingly. Go to 77th question. Wolbachia method is sometimes talked about with reference to which one of the following. So it is related to mosquito breeding, like mosquito breeding diseases like Zika virus, or you can see dengue. All this controlling these diseases, this method has been adopted. You genetically change inject some of these Wolbachia bacteria into some of these mosquitoes and they cross interbreed, and over a period of time the population of the mosquito goes on decreasing from this area. So controlling viral disease spread by mosquitoes is the major objective of Wolbachia method. Answer A is the correct answer. Now 79th question, aerial metagenomics. It is something related to genome. We have discussed in detail genome and metagenome in the class. Aerial metagenome is nothing but genome that is taken from the air. Microorganisms in the air, avian species in the air, all will come into metagenomics, aerial metagenomics. So correct answer here is option A, collecting DNA samples from air in a habitat on one go. That is the correct answer. Microsatellite DNA, it is used in case of which of the following? The correct answer is studying evolutionary among various relationship among various fauna species. So evolutionary relationship among various fauna species is indeed the correct answer here. Let's move ahead. Answer, consider the following statement in relation to Janani Suraksha Yojana. So this is also a quite seemingly a difficult question, but this can be answered very, you can see applying some of your mind, you can answer it. It's a safe motherhood intervention of state health departments. Indeed, healthcare is a state subject. So this should be a correct statement. Its objective is to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality. Very much correct statement. Neonatal means babies with less than 2 months of after birth to 2 months period neonatal. It is very much correct answer. It aims to promote institutional delivery. Very much correct. The objective, it includes providing healthcare facility to sick infants up to 1 year of age. This is not a part of exactly Janani Suraksha Yojana. It is more related to taking care of mother and neonatal babies, not babies up to 1 year or infant babies. So this is incorrect. All the other three are correct. So C is the correct answer we have got here. 82nd question. Anemia Mukt Bharat strategy. Here also you can see that you find it very difficult maybe at one reading, but if you can apply a little bit of your mind, this is also quite easy question. It provides polyphylactic calcium supplement. See, anemia means what? Anemia is lack of iron in the body, hemoglobin issues in the body. So it is iron supplements are being provided, not calcium supplements. So first option is absolutely wrong. It runs a campaign for delayed. All these are correct statements. It provides delayed code camping, delayed deworming among women, deworming among children and adolescents. Correct statement. Non-nutritional causes of anemia are also being addressed. All these are positive statements. First statement is incorrect. So answer here is C. Only 3 statements are correct. Answer the 83rd question. Carbon fibers are used in. Carbon fibers are, we have discussed this in class when we discuss different types of carbon, different forms of carbon like diamond, graphite. Then we discussed the applications of fullerenes. During that time in science and tech class, we have discussed the carbon fiber and its application also. It is having high tensile strength. It is having, so it is being finding applications in automobile and aircraft industry due to its light weights and all. Carbon fibers once used cannot be recycled. There are different technologies, different methods. 4 or 5 different methods have been established for recycling of carbon fibers. So this is an incorrect statement. Here answer is A. Answer the 84th question. Accelerometer, where it is used. Accelerometer is something which can detect the change in acceleration. So in all these cases, you can see, even you can just apply your mind, you can see that some kind of acceleration is happening. Detection of car crash, obviously acceleration is from a high velocity, it is falling to a 0 velocity in a very small period of time. Detection of accidental free fall of laptops, absolutely same, from 0 velocity to it is acquiring high velocity. Detection of tilt in smartphone also, you can get the direction of the phone by using the accelerometers. So it is being used in all 3 applications. Even you can relate that it is a science and tech questions. Previously we have been seeing so much of all of the above answers in science and tech questions. So some kind of logic, some kind of conceptual aspects are being repeated in some of these questions also, despite the question paper being very difficult and very like out of the blue type of approach questions have been framed. So answer this question. Biofilters in recirculating of aquaculture system, consider the following statements. So in this we have the biofilters provide waste treatment by removing uneaten fish feed. So biofilters are basically those chemicals which convert, there is a organic waste within the water system. Biofilters converts this organic waste into a less harmful compound. That is what it is being done. Now consider the statement. But it is uneaten fish means, fish feed means it's organic waste. It can remove some of this organic waste. So first statement is correct. Biofilters convert ammonia present in the fish waste into nitrate. Ammonia is a highly poisonous for the fish tank. So it is being converted into less dangerous nitrate systems. So both these statements are correct. Biofilters increase phosphorus as nutrient for fish and water. This statement, phosphorus is a new compound which it is a filter obviously. It is not adding new compounds into the system. So this statement is incorrect. 2 are correct and correct answer here is B. Answer the 86th question. This also we have discussed so much in the class. We have discussed different types of satellites, what kind of rays it is being discussed. And when we are discussing these gamma ray satellites, where these gamma rays are coming from, we have discussed different kind of stars like neutron star, pulsar, black holes also we have discussed in detail. So in this question, if you look at the first 2 statements, these are interchanged. Cepheids and nebula, their definition is being interchanged. And third, pulsar stars is correct definition is given. Neutron stars that are formed when massive stars run out of fuel and collapse into itself. So here answer is A, only one statement is correct. Answer the 87th question. Which of the countries have its own navigation system? Only few countries like USA have this GPS system. Similarly, European Union have its own. China, Russia and Japan have. Here the correct answer is Japan. D is the correct answer. India also have its own regional system. Consider the following statement. This also we discussed so much in the class. We have discussed that told in the class Agni 5 is having a speed of more than Mach number of 24 or about 20 something. And somebody have asked the question also, is it that much high? And we have referred some materials and clarified in the further class, Agni 5 is having a supersonic speed when impacting. So if you have gone through, if you have sit in the class, you could have easily related to this question. Ballistic missiles are jet propelled at subsonic speeds. No, ballistic Agni 5 is a ballistic missile. It is having supersonic speeds. Absolutely a wrong statement. Agni 5 is a medium range supersonic cruise missile. Agni 5 is India's longest ballistic missile, having a range of more than 5,000 kilometers. So this also, both the statements are incorrect. Here answer will be D, neither 1 and nor 2. Now answer the 90th question. Regarding green hydrogen. Green hydrogen we have extensively discussed in the class. We have studied green hydrogen, gray hydrogen, blue hydrogen, what is the differences, what is the different kinds of applications. But this question is more easy. It can be directly used as fuel for internal combustion engine. Hydrogen is a very good fuel for internal combustion engine. Absolutely correct. It can be blended with natural gas and used for fuel for heat or power applications. Very much correct statement. It can be blended to reduce the emissions from this natural gas and all. It can be used in hydrogen fuel cell. We already have bus and other vehicles which is running on hydrogen fuel cell, and hydrogen is the fuel there. So all three statements are correct. C is the correct answer here. 91st question. Consider the following statement with reference to India. See, this is also we have discussed in economic class. We have come across, if you have a very decent student, you have come across this. And here what is it is, medium enterprises size is asked. And you obviously know medium enterprises cannot be as small as 25 crore. So this statement is absolutely wrong, and my MSME loans are being categorized under this priority sector lending. So the second statement is correct. So here answer is B. 92nd question. We have discussed again a question that we have discussed extensively in class, central board digital currency. We have also shared this link for RBI concept paper on this central bank digital currencies. We have made short videos. We have done so much things regarding CBDCs. If you at least gone through the classes, at least gone through the material, or at least gone through the concept paper link that has been shared with you, you could have easily answered this question. It is possible to make payments central bank without using digital. What is the use of digital bank, US dollar or SWIFT system? We can have our own system under this digital bank CBDCs. A currency, it is RBI concept note clearly states that a CBDC can be programmed for XYZ means. And this here one specific application is being pinpointed. That is, it has to be spent within a time frame. Even though we haven't adopted it, the possibility exists. You can also see that it can be is the keyword here. So regarding all this statement is correct. First one is incorrect. Answer here is, it is possible to make this statement. So both the statements are correct. So answer here is C, both 1 and 2. Now answer the 95th question. This is also a very easy question. You can answer this with a little bit of common sense. India's public healthcare sector largely focus on curative care with limited preventive, promotive and rehabilitative acts. We have this national health policy of 2017. All this discuss about India need to shift towards preventive healthcare. From what we have today is you get the disease, then only you think about healthcare system. So this is being taken as a statement here. Absolutely correct statement. Statement 2. Under India's decentralized approach, healthcare delivery, states are primarily, absolutely, healthcare is a state subject and state is the primary responsibility for providing the healthcare. Even in Ayushman Bharat, some states were not ready to implement the scheme. Some states were not ready to implement the scheme with the Prime Minister's name or logo on the top of this. So all these controversies are coming because healthcare is a state subject. So you can relate with this and you can see that both these statements are correct, but exact definition, exact reasoning is not there. So here answer is B. Statement 1 and 2 are correct, but it is not the correct explanation. Answer the 96th question. According to here also, it seems to be a very tough question, but it is not that much. According to United Nations World Water Development Report 2022, India extracts more than a quarter of world's groundwater than groundwater withdrawal each year, more than quarter, and it's almost, you seem like it's a very huge figure, but India is the largest groundwater exploiter of the world, and India does exploit more than a quarter of world's groundwaters. Second statement, India needs to expand more this because India need to satisfy the drinking water and sanitation needs of 18% of, so much things about this statement seems correct. 18% of the population is we have this population demands high water pressures, that's why we are extracting. But if you have how water is being distributed, different source of water is being used in India, you will not get this incorrect. Around 90% of the groundwater that is extracted from India is being used for agriculture purposes. So the population pressure is not the major problem of this XYZ. Drinking water pressure or sanitation pressure is not the major cause for groundwater exploitation in India. So this statement is incorrect. And there is only one that states statement 2 is incorrect, that is C is the correct answer you have got. Now answer the 98th question. So which of the countries having suffering on decades of civil strife and food shortage, which this all, you look at the Angola, you might have even heard of this Angola in the recent past. Costa Rica, it's a very great country, countries that is doing good economy in exports and all. Ecuador is also not having decades of issues. It is Somalia is the country which you always refer to. Even Prime Minister refers to this country in a bad light at sometimes. So these have different connotations. You can have different places you might have seen this. So a correct answer is answer D here. So that's all for now. We have, in a very fast pace, we have discussed around 43 questions. So what I can come out or what I can infer from all this discussion is, even though the paper is extremely tough, it is a very tough paper. There are many questions where some kind of logic can be applied. There are many direct straight away questions. There are many questions where some of the statements you can really anticipate before going to the exam. So if you have done your work, you might have answered most of these questions correctly. And this question paper does require some of the changes in your approaches to the paper in the coming years, as well as when solving the paper in real time. You shouldn't have, I really hope you shouldn't have over attempted the paper. That's all. And regarding cutoff, if you are inquiring, I am not good expert in giving a cutoff, but anything somewhere near 80 you are getting, you should be seriously starting preparing for mains. That's all for now. Thank you so much.